Hi friends, good evening and welcome to Tech Toast with Science Spread. As you all know by now, this is your RJ Vidya. So you are obviously listening to number one internet radio station Radio Udan. And our website is www.radioudan.com. This is a very good platform for visually impaired to showcase their talents as RJs as well, and also for listeners to get all the information related to visually impaired and also other informative and entertainment related shows. So this show belongs to information category, and this show deals with science, math and technology, as you all know by now. And you have been listening to many shows till now, many episodes of this show. In case you want me to improve any aspect of this show or you want to contribute any article to this show, you can always do so by just sending a mail to vidya.y93@gmail.com. I repeat, vidhya.y93@gmail.com. If you want to request an archive too, you can send me a mail to the same ID, or you can visit www.radioudan.com to give your feedback and also to request archive. These are the two means you can reach me. But personally, if you want to send me any article that you want to know or any information that you want to know, or if you want to contribute anything to this show, you can always send a mail to vidya.y93@gmail.com. And for other information related to Radio Udan, always you can visit the website www.radioudan.com. We have a Facebook page as well. Just type Radio Space Udan, you can get a Facebook page, and we also have a group specifically for Radio Udan. Even that, if you just type Radio Space Udan, you get it on Facebook. Just send a request and we'll add you. There's also a WhatsApp group for Radio Udan. Here you can just find some inspiring quotes, jokes and other stuff. So this was all about the information of how to reach us. Now coming back to this show, if you remember last time what we were talking about, obviously we were talking about visual impairment. And visual impairment, we all are facing it. So there are various aspects that we need to know about visual impairment. I'm not talking about the common stuff that we already know, like we use screen reader, how we navigate and all that. All that we already know. I'm talking about more advanced things related to visually impaired people. So visually impaired includes totally blind and partially blind people as well. So totally blind means total vision loss, and partial blindness means vision loss up to certain degree. That means people are not able to completely see, even if they use spectacles or any other objects like contact lenses, etc. So we had discussed various aspects of this topic, and this was requested by one of our listeners that he wants to know about various eye conditions that causes blindness and whether all of them can be treated or not. And also this we'll be covering little today, and before that I'll have to tell you many more things, and maybe even for the next week we'll take up the same topic because this is a very big topic. I don't think it gets over. So if you remember last time we had spoken about visual impairment. As I told you, it includes both total blindness and partial blindness. We had also spoken about the classification of blindness. According to WHO, it had classified as partial. It had classified different categories like total blindness, severe blindness, or mild blindness, etc. Mild visual impairment, basically. All these categories we had seen. We had seen various facts and statistics about blindness. In statistics, we had seen that out of the total visually impaired population, 90% of the people live in developing and underdeveloped nations. That means developing and underdeveloped nations are all countries with low and middle income like India, China, then underdeveloped nations like Pakistan, Afghanistan, etc. And 90% of them live in all these countries, and only 10% live in developed nations. Developed nations like Canada, Australia, USA, UK, etc. These are called developed nations because they have high human development index and good quality of life, and also they have very good income, high income. So only 10% of the total world's visually impaired population lives there. And why only 10% lives there? It's so obvious because many of the people's blindness or visual impairment can easily be treated, and these countries have taken all the measures to treat it. And out of the 90% population which lives in developed and underdeveloped nations, 80% of visual impairment can easily be cured. Like old people develop cataracts and they can be cured easily, and refractive error, most of them will have that, and still they are not cured because they don't have money to get it cured. So 80% of the blindness in developed and underdeveloped nations can be cured. So this is very different type of statistics, and we've seen the total number of blind people and total number of visually impaired people, which includes partial blindness and total blindness also. All these we've seen last time, and we had seen symptoms of blindness and visual impairment, that few people have wet eyes, few people have itching, few people will have pain, and all those common symptoms like completely they're not able to see, or partially they're not able to see. So all these we had seen last time. So basically we had seen about what is visual impairment, that it includes both blindness and partial blindness, classification according to WHO, facts, and we had seen symptoms. Now this time, first let's start off with different types of blindness. Now what I mean by different types of blindness, generally people use blindness to denote visual impairment also. That's how it's given everywhere. So when I'm telling blindness, please note that it might include partial and total blindness also. So now we'll be taking a look at different types of blindness. So different types of blindness, we have night blindness, color blindness, and snow blindness. Have you heard of snow blindness? I don't think I had heard about it. Color blindness and night blindness I had heard, but what is snow blindness? We'll be taking a look at these three types even before going to different eye conditions. Different eye conditions, we have many. I don't think we can cover it in one show. We still need to extend our episode even for the next episode as well. So first we'll be taking a look at these three types of visual impairment, that is night blindness, snow blindness, and color blindness. So let's see them one by one. First, we'll be taking a look at color blindness. Have you heard of this term color blindness? Surely all of us would have heard about it. So what is color blindness? Have you ever wondered? Now, most of us who cannot completely see are not able to understand what are colors, right? So I can't give you a thorough explanation of what are colors exactly, but just this much I know that colors, people can recognize them. There'll be slight difference between each color, and for each color there are various combinations of other colors and give this color. Suppose you take any color like green, red, etc. If you mix any 2 or 3 colors, you will get this red. Like that, 2 or 3 combination of colors make most of the colors. And in colors, there will be slight distinctions, and few people will like different colors and different people will like different colors. So if you ask a person what's your favorite color, maybe they might say suppose person M says okay he likes green, person N says he likes white, and so on. So obviously there are distinction of these colors and there are differences in these colors, and so people are able to make out what color is it. And now what is this color blindness? It is the inability to perceive differences in various shades of colors, particularly green and red, that others can distinguish. That means in color blindness, what happens? They can see all colors easily, but they can't perceive shades of different colors like green and red, because green and red are similar to each other, and so they cannot make out the difference between green and red and things like that. There are other similar colors. This, for example, it is green and red. Okay, they cannot perceive differences, slight differences between colors. That's what is color blindness. It is most often inherited, that is, it is genetic, and it affects about 8% of male and 1% of females. So 8% of males generally will have color blindness, and in women it's not even 1%, it's basically lesser than 1%, and it is inherited. What do you mean by inheriting it? That means in case your parents or grandparents or great grandparents or any ancestors have this color blindness, so that time there is a chance that you inherit this disease, that is color blindness. It's not exactly blindness. Basically, you cannot just distinguish differences in similar colors, basically like green and red. Now it is genetic, and it affects about 8% of males and under 1% of women. People who are colorblind usually have normal vision otherwise and can function well visually. That means they have normal vision. They can see anything. They can see people. They can walk on the street easily. They can see light. They can recognize objects. So they have normal vision itself. It's just that they are not able to make out the difference between similar colors, and visually they can function very well just like others. This is actually not true blindness. It's not even considered as blindness, basically. So it's not blindness. I hope you understood what is color blindness. Color blindness, you will not be able to perceive differences in shades of similar colors like green and red, and this disease is genetic. That means it's inherited. If your parents or grandparents or any great grandparents or any other previous generation had this color blindness, there is a chance that you might also get it. And people with this type of vision can function very normally. That means they can recognize all objects, they can see everything very clearly, except that they are not able to recognize the difference between almost similar colors. That means they are not able to recognize the shades of these colors, and it affects about 8% of males and less than 1% of females. So in females, there's a lucky factor that females, not even 1% of them have it. Very few have. That means under 1% of the females are affected by this. And this is not actually true blindness. That means it's not even considered as blindness, but it has to be known because many people use the term color blindness. Hope you understood this. Welcome to the world of invention, creativity and discovery. Here's an opportunity for all of us to explore the ocean of knowledge. This show is all about emerging trends in science and technology, math, quiz, facts and much more. So friends, get ready to listen Tech Toast with Science Spread with your RJ Vidya only on Radio Udan every Monday from 7 to 8 pm and rebroadcast every Tuesday from 2 to 3 pm.
प्रतिभा की पहचान,
प्रज्ञा की मुस्कान,
सबलांगों का साथी, ये है रेडियो उड़ान।
रेडियो उड़ान के प्रोग्राम्स की जानकारी के लिए, शोज में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए, किसी भी शो को फीडबैक देने के लिए, आर्काइव रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए, आरजे बनने के लिए और अपने फेवरेट आरजेस की प्रोफाइल्स पढ़ने के लिए लॉग ऑन करें www.radioudan.com। स्काइप आईडी रेडियो उड़ान, ईमेल mail@radioudan.com। रेडियो उड़ान, अ फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
ये आवाज है हमारे मेंबर्स के द्वारा भेजे जाने वाले ईमेल कम्युनिकेशन की। ये आवाज है हमारे ग्रुप के द्वारा ऑर्गेनाइज की जाने वाली कन्वेंशन और वर्कशॉप में पार्टिसिपेट करने वाले लोगों की।
और इन सब का नाम है से एवरीथिंग।
Say Everything is a group of integration.
से एवरीथिंग यानी एक आवाज, विचार और अभिव्यक्ति की।
Say Everything means a group of free expression.
Say Everything is an international mailing list to learn and share, where the subscribers can discuss every topic of common interest via email exchange from around the world.
For more information and to subscribe our mailing list, please log on to www.sayeverything.org.
Say Everything, India's #1 international mailing list. Come and join us today.
रेडियो उड़ान सुन रहे सभी मित्रों को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। मेरा नाम मधु सिंघल है। मैं बेंगलोर में कार्यरत संस्था मित्र ज्योति, जो पिछले 25 वर्षों से दृष्टिहीनों एवं दूसरे विकलांग व्यक्तियों के लिए कार्यरत है, उसकी मैनेजिंग ट्रस्टी हूँ। इस संस्था की गतिविधियाँ इस प्रकार हैं। यहाँ पर दृष्टिहीनों के लिए ऑडियो में पुस्तकें रिकॉर्ड की जाती हैं। इसके साथ साथ ब्रेल में और स्कैन्ड पुस्तकें भी उनको दी जा रही हैं। कंप्यूटर प्रशिक्षण और रोजगार की सुविधाएं भी यहाँ प्रदान की जा रही हैं। दृष्टिहीन महिलाओं के लिए एक विशेष प्रकार का कोर्स चलाया जाता है, जिसमें उन्हें आत्मनिर्भर बनकर जीवन में आगे बढ़ने की क्षमता प्रदान की जा रही है। आप मित्र ज्योति से संपर्क कर सकते हैं। यहाँ का फोन नंबर है 08022587623 और 22587625। ईमेल एड्रेस है admin.office@mitrajyoti.org। वेबसाइट है www.mitrajyoti.org।
रेडियो उड़ान के माध्यम से शुभ समाचार। अंकित कपूर, संदीप अरोड़ा, विनय खुराना का शानदार
प्रयास दो दिलों को मिलाने का।
तो आइए रजिस्टर कीजिए और पाइए मनचाहा हमसफर। ज्यादा जानकारी के लिए आप रजिस्टर करें
www.disablesari.com पर।
आप कॉल कर सकते हैं
95017510000 and you can drop an email to info@disabledmatrimonial.com.
हाय हाय, मैं क्या करूं? मेरी बेटी को देखो, अच्छी खासी एक्सपर्ट है हर काम में, कंप्यूटर में भी अच्छी खासी जॉब भी करती है, लेकिन फिर भी जब भी लड़के वाले देखने आते हैं ना, रिजेक्ट करके चले जाते हैं। पर क्यों? क्योंकि ना उसको खाना नहीं बनाना आता। क्या करूं?
क्या करो? ट्यून इन करो हर मंगलवार शाम 8 से 9 रेडियो उड़ान पर, जहां मैं आरजे चेतना आपको सिखाऊंगी प्रोग्राम किचन तड़का में जायकेदार डिशेस बनाना।
कहानी वेद पुराणों की, मनोरंजक कहानियाँ, जीवन को राह दिखलाने वाली कहानियाँ, धार्मिक, सांस्कृतिक, सामाजिक और राजनीतिक हर पक्ष को छूती हैं कहानियाँ। अपने संग तो इन्हीं कहानियों को मैं सुनाने आ रही हूँ, यानी आरजे गीता सुमन, शो कथालोक में हर मंगलवार शाम 7 से 8 और हर बुधवार दोपहर 2 से 3। तो सुनना मत भूलिएगा, सिर्फ और सिर्फ रेडियो उड़ान पर।
दो अंधों की कथा सुनो, इस पर इनका ज्ञान सुनो।
Hey friends, do you think that life is getting so stressful? Well, if it is so, why not make it quite inspirational, motivational and stress-free? So let us meet in a world of positivity in the show Inspirational Wings Season 2. Every Tuesday 9 to 10 p.m. and repeat every Wednesday 4 to 5 p.m. with RJ Divya Sharma only on Radio Udan, a flight of life. For more information, visit our website www.radioudan.com.
Now let's see what is night blindness. When I tell you night blindness, what comes to your mind? I know most of you will be thinking like, okay, night blindness means people are not able to see in nights. Is it? Do you know what is the difference between day and night and how is it linked? How is this type of blindness linked to either day or night? The difference between day and night are so many, but we'll not consider all. Obviously, you will be awake during day and you'll sleep during night. I'm not asking that type of difference. Obviously, you'll be working in the day, you will be sleeping in the night. And I don't want all these sort of general differences. And what does first thing come to your mind when I say something related to blindness and something related to day and night? Obviously, what is blind? Blind means you're not able to see, and basically generally it deals with darkness, right? So in the night it's obviously dark and day it's bright. Why is it so? Everyone knows the reason, because sun is not there in the night. Instead there is moon, and sun gives light and moon doesn't. So because of that we don't have light in the night, and that's why this is termed as night blindness. Now by now you would be able to get what I'm about to say. That means maybe they will not be able to see clearly. That means they will not be able to see the brightness clearly. So let me tell you what exactly is night blindness now that you have understood this. So night blindness is a difficulty in seeing under situations of decreased illumination. So what is illumination? Illumination is brightness. Now brightness, there are different types of brightness. Suppose you switch on light, the brightness might be very much, but there will be, if you just have a candle, it is little bit dimmer than the light, and if you have candle far away from you, the brightness decreases, and if you take off candle completely when there is no light, it fully decreases. That's why, have you noticed, when power is gone, people are not able to see anything. That is total absence of brightness in the night. And if you bring candle close to someone, they are able to see light better. That is full illumination. And if you take the candle little bit far away from them, the brightness decreases. If you take it more far, it again decreases. If you take it completely far, it fully decreases. So this is how your vision is able to function. That means there should be extra light for these people to see. If they have night blindness, they are not able to see when there is no much light. There should be very much light, and if there is decrease in light, they are not able to see. So they have termed it night blindness because there is absence of light in the night. So it doesn't mean if you switch on light in the night, they are not able to see. Nothing like that. If you switch on light, extra light is there, they are able to see, but only if the light doesn't give you that much capability, it is difficult for them to see. Now, this can be either genetic or it can be acquired. That means if your ancestors, your parents, grandparents, or anyone in your family, that side, ancestor side, have this, it will be genetic, or it can be acquired also. It doesn't mean anyone has it, anyone should have it for you to get it. It can either be acquired or it can be genetic. That means you might only develop night blindness for any reason in your life. So it doesn't mean any of your family members should have it for you to get this disease. The majority of people who have night vision difficulties function well under normal light in conditions. It's not a state of sightlessness. That's what I told you, right? If you switch on the light in the night, it's so obvious they'll be able to see. But why they call it night blindness? Because generally in the night there is no light. That's why people can't see properly when there's decreased light. So since there's no light in the night, they call it night blindness. So it doesn't mean if you switch on the light also in the night, they're not able to see. No, nothing like that. It's just that they're not able to see under decreased light or no light. Generally, nobody will be able to properly recognize, the sighted people will not be able to recognize under total absence of light. But if there is little light also, they can see. But these people who have night blindness cannot see if there is little light. There should be clear light for them to be able to see. So this is all about night blindness. I hope you have understood. So let me repeat, night blindness is a difficulty in seeing under situations of decreased illuminations. It can be genetic or acquired. The majority of people who have night vision difficulties function well under normal light in conditions. This is not a state of sightlessness. I hope you got it by now. As I told you the concept of illumination, how it works, the brightness. As in when the brightness decreases, these people also will not be able to see. There should be clear light for them to be able to see. And since there is no light in the night, they call these people as night blind, and the condition is called as night blindness. And if there is complete or partial absence of light, they will not be able to recognize any objects. And this is not the case of total sightlessness. In the day and all, it's also normal for them also. And it can either be genetic or it can be acquired. That is, if any of your family members have it, you might get it. Or if even though they don't have it, due to various situations, you may develop it in your life. So we have seen till now the difference between night blindness and color blindness. Next we are going to take a look at snow blindness. What is snow blindness? Snow blindness. I haven't heard this thing till I read it recently, so I thought I'll tell you. There is also another condition called as snow blindness. Let's see what is it. Snow blindness is loss of vision after exposure of eyes to large amounts of ultraviolet light. That means you lose vision after exposing your eyes to large ultraviolet rays. What is ultraviolet rays? It's basically the sunlight gives you ultraviolet rays, and sometimes there will be extra light there will be from the sun. If you directly expose your eyes to excessive sunlight, sometimes when there are eclipses and all, there will be super extra sunlight. Or sometimes even if not eclipse also, solar eclipse you have heard, right? There will be extra lights. That's why people tell, okay, don't expose your eyes directly to the sun. You have to not go out and all that they tell. And sometimes even if there is no eclipse also, solar eclipse, sometimes there will be extra sunlight, and when you directly keep looking at the sun for no reason, then what happens is your vision might decrease. It will decrease and you will acquire some type of vision loss, and this is called as snow blindness. Snow blindness is usually temporary and is due to swelling of cells of corneal surface. It's not permanent, it can be cured, or even you don't need external treatment from the doctors or something. It will generally go off after few days. And why it happens? Because swelling of cells of corneal surface happens. There will be something called as cornea in everyone's eyes. What are corneas? Corneas are basically some type of cells in your eye which receive the visual stuff that's happening. Suppose someone sees a girl standing in front of them, then how do you get to know whether it is a girl? The exact visual image will be picked up by someone's cornea first. First thing that picks up any information is corneas. So corneas are used for that, and if the cells swell up in cornea, it is snow blindness, and it happens just because the cells swell up in the corneas because you've directly looked at the sun. And it can be cured, and this is not permanent. If it doesn't go on its own, you can go to the doctor and it will be cured. Even in the most severe of cases of snow blindness, the individual is still able to see shapes and movement. Even if they're not able to make out color and all that, they're able to see shapes. If a girl is standing in front of someone, they're able to know that it's a girl. And if the girl is walking, they're able to know that the girl is walking. So since they'll be able to make out that it's a girl, and they will be able to make out that the girl is moving, obviously they will be able to make out the shape and movements. That's what is snow blindness. Even if it is severe snow blindness, these are the two conditions, that they will not be completely blind, but they'll be able to see the shape and objects. They may not be able to recognize which color dress the girl is wearing, or what type of what type of hair she has, either straight or something like that. Even if they're able to make out whether it's straight or something, they will not be able to make out the color of someone's dress, etc. if they are snow blind and if it is very severe. And this is again temporary. If the vision is restored back, it will be fine. It's just that the cells in the cornea have swelled up and it can be easily treated. This is what is snow blindness. And I hope you understood what is snow blindness by now. It means it's not complete blindness. It's just that because of ultraviolet rays from the sun produces ultraviolet rays. When you directly look at the sun, when it produces extra ultraviolet rays, then you might go snow blind. If you go snow blind, what happens? Your eyes will have decreased vision. That means your cornea is in the front part of your eye and it receives all visual input. If that damages, that means the cells of the cornea swells up, and that's why you get the snow blindness. And even if you have severe snow blindness, extreme snow blindness, you're not completely blind. It's just that you're not able to see everything clearly, but you're able to make out, you're able to make out the shape and size of any object and the movement of any object. And all this can be restored in case it doesn't become proper on its own. And if it does become proper on its own, it doesn't need any external treatment. And during time of solar eclipse and all that, there will be extra light produced from the sun. Or even if not, if you keep looking directly at the sun for very long, opening your eye, this can happen. So this is what is snow blindness. So snow blindness is loss of vision after exposure of eye to large amounts of ultraviolet light. Snow blindness is usually temporary and is due to swelling of cells of the corneal surface. Even in the most severe of cases of snow blindness, the individual is still able to see shapes and movement. So this is what is snow blindness. Now these are the three main types of blindness, that is color blindness, night blindness and snow blindness. You should know by now, color blindness means it's not that they're not able to see any color, it's just that they're not able to see the difference in shades of similar colors like green and red. Now night blindness, it doesn't mean during night they'll be blind, not like that. Even during day, if they have dim light, they're not able to see anything, and even if in the night if you switch on lights, they're able to see something. But obviously they're not able to see whenever there is dim light. Since there is no light in the night, people call it night blindness. And snow blindness, it doesn't mean you will get it on the snow or something. It's just that if you keep looking at the sun, sun produces ultraviolet rays, and this blindness is caused because of ultraviolet rays. And if you keep looking at the sun directly, or if you expose your eye during time of solar eclipse and stuff like that to the sun, then there's chances that your cornea is damaged. That means the swells of your cornea will swell up, and hence you cause trouble for yourself. This is called as snow blindness. And even in the severe cases of snow blindness, still you are able to see the shapes and movement of any object. So it can be cured without external treatment, and sometimes it might need external treatment, but it's not permanent, it just goes off. So snow blindness, because since I think the name snow blindness is because sun, they say, is a ball of light. So light, people resemble it using white, right? So snow is also white. So extreme exposure to light means you see that white color directly from the sun, and so extreme exposure to that. Since the snow is also white and the light is also white, extreme light is also white, I think that's the name why they have given it as snow blindness. Anyways, I'll make sure and tell it again in the next episode, but this might be the reason why it's called as snow blindness. Hope you understood the difference between night blindness, color blindness and snow blindness.
चाहे तुम कुछ ना कहो, मैंने सुन लिया कि साथी प्यार का मुझे चुन लिया, मैंने सुन लिया।
पहला नशा, पहला खुमार, नया प्यार है, नया इंतजार, कर लूं मैं क्या अपना हाल, ऐ दिले बेकरार, मेरे दिले बेकरार, तू ही बता। पहला नशा, पहला खुमार, इन हवाओं में कहीं, या मैं झूल जाऊं इन घटाओं में कहीं, उड़ता ही फिरूं इन हवाओं में कहीं, एक कर दूं आसमान जमीन। कहो यारो क्या करूं क्या नहीं, पहला नशा पहला खुमार, नया प्यार है नया इंतजार। कर लूं मैं क्या अपना हाल ऐ दिले बेकरार, मेरे दिले बेकरार तू ही बता। पहला नशा पहला खुमार।
Now it's time to know about diagnosis of blindness. So what is diagnosis? It is basically identifying the cause of your blindness. Now there are n number of conditions for blindness. We haven't discussed many conditions. We'll be discussing details of all the conditions next time because this time we don't have much time. So there are so many types of conditions, and how will the doctors find out, okay, this is the exact condition that has made you lose your eyesight? So that to identify the nature why you have lost your eyesight is called diagnosis. That means they'll identify the reason why you have lost your eyesight. There are many conditions like retinosis pigmentosa, or it might be prematurely or born, so your retina is damaged. So there are various causes, and how will they identify? That is called as diagnosis. Now let's see about the diagnosis of blindness. Blindness is diagnosed by testing each eye individually and by measuring visual acuity and visual field or peripheral vision. People may have blindness in one eye, which is called as unilateral blindness, or both eyes, that is bilateral blindness. And this, what they're trying to tell is how is blindness diagnosed. First they'll look at each eye and they'll look at one eye or both your eye. If you have problem in one eye, they'll look at your one eye, and if you have problem in both the eyes, they will look at both the eyes. People who have problem in one eye are called as unilateral. It's called as unilateral blindness if they have problem in one eye. If they have problem in both the eyes, it's called as bilateral blindness. And they will measure your visual acuity and visual field, or even it can be called as peripheral vision. Now what is this? Let me tell you what is visual acuity and visual field, or you can call it as peripheral vision. Now what is this is? It is boundaries of your vision. That means, say you are looking at a book. Your direct focus is book, only book, right? So apart from central focus, now your central focus, if you are looking at a book, obviously your central focus will be your vision, central focus will be a book. Now your boundaries means apart from this book what all you can see. Maybe you can see people walking beside you, maybe you can see bird flying beside you or something like that, even though you are looking at a book. Sometimes haven't you seen people telling you, okay, they will be reading newspaper, say they're reading newspaper, and if someone's walking towards them, they will even identify that someone is coming towards them, right? This is called as peripheral vision. Apart from the newspaper, they're able to see other stuffs also. That is called as boundary of your vision, and it's called as peripheral vision. Now this, how they will come to know the causes, they will measure how much peripheral vision you have. They will give you something to read or maybe something to see. Apart from reading it or seeing it, what all things you can see, that is your peripheral eyesight. And they will measure peripheral eyesight in one or both the eyes, and then they will get to know how much you cannot see, or they will get to know the cause of your blindness. And one other way to know the cause is historical information regarding the blindness can be helpful in diagnosing the cause of blindness. That means you have to know historical details. Say you have retinosis pigmentosa. Maybe if your parents tell the doctor, okay, first my son or daughter was able to see fine, and later in class 3 or 4 it was decreased, and later in 10th or something they couldn't see completely. That means doctors can probably take a guess that it might be this problem. Or if they tell by birth itself she couldn't see, or then they can get to know, okay, this might be the cause. Because obviously they cannot think it is retinosis pigmentosa if you tell by default you had it. Because retinosis pigmentosa means you develop it later in life. We'll be taking a look at all conditions, but historical details will be very necessary for doctors in order to find out your exact cause. And poor vision that is sudden in onset differs from potential causes than blindness that is progressive or chronic. Temporary blindness differs from cause from permanent blindness. The cause of blindness is made by a thorough examination by ophthalmologist. So ophthalmologist makes a thorough examination of the cause after knowing all the historical details. Say you have temporary vision, or you have temporary vision loss, or you have permanent vision loss. The causes may be different, right? As I told you, if they tell, okay, you have temporary blindness, the causes might be different, because as I told you, snow blindness is a temporary type. They can restore it. So knowing all the historical details, they can make sure whether it's temporary or permanent, and they can make sure exactly what condition you have. And this condition will be tested by ophthalmologist. And as I told you, how it's all diagnosed is they will check either you have problem first, they'll check if you have problem in one or both the eye. And how they'll check is, apart they'll give you an object, and apart from the direct focus, whatever other things you can see, they'll measure. This is called as peripheral vision or visual acuity and visual field. So if you have problem in one eye, you are termed as unilaterally blind. If you have problem in both eyes, it's bilateral blindness. So let me repeat this diagnosis again. Remember again, diagnosis is nothing but they will test what is the exact reason for your blindness, or they will identify the nature and symptoms of blindness. So let's take a look at it again. Blindness is diagnosed by testing each eye individually and by measuring the visual acuity and visual field or peripheral vision. People may have blindness in one eye, that is called as unilateral blindness, or both the eyes, that is called as bilateral blindness. Historical information regarding blindness can be helpful in diagnosing the cause of blindness. Poor vision that is sudden and onset differs in potential causes than blindness that is progressive from chronic diseases. Temporary blindness differs from permanent blindness. The cause of blindness is made by thorough examination by ophthalmologist. So hope you have understood how they will identify the cause of your blindness. So in today's show, we've seen the difference between night blindness, color blindness and snow blindness, and we've also seen the diagnosis for blindness. So this was all for today. Next time too, we'll be taking a look at the same topic but different stuff. We'll be taking a look at various eye conditions that causes blindness, and we'll be taking a look at prevention as well. Maybe next time too we cannot finish. I think we need 2 or 3 more shows for this because this is a vast topic. And this is very important because most of us are dealing with visual impairment. We have to know details, scientific details of all these. Apart from knowing the life skills, we have to even know in point of view of science what is visual impairment and what science has to tell about the conditions of it as well. So today I hope you enjoyed the show for today. And again, if you want to give me any feedback, please send a mail to vidya.y93@gmail.com, or if you want to listen this show and you have missed it, or if you want to re-listen the show too, you can request an archive just by sending a mail to vidya.y93@gmail.com, vidya.y93@gmail.com, or else you can give your feedback and also you can request archive by visiting www.radioudan.com. I hope this show was interesting. And next time, surely I'll come up with nice information with the same topic. So till then, keep listening to all the shows of Radio Udan. Keep enjoying. Have a wonderful time. This was your show Tech Toast with Science Trade, and I was your RJ Vidya. Meet you next Monday at the same time in the same show but different information. Take care and goodbye.
मरते रहे, यूं ही हम तुमसे प्यार करते रहे। तेरी बाहों में हम जीते मरते रहे, यूं ही हम तुमसे प्यार करते रहे। हमने देखी नहीं ऐसी दीवानगी, कम न होगी कभी अब तो दिल की लगी। जिस्म से रूह में हम उतरते रहे, यूं ही हम तुमसे प्यार करते रहे। बना के तुमको आंखों में रख लेंगे, बेकरारियां कह रही हैं हम चैन तुमको देंगे।
आके आगोश में हम संवरते रहे, जिस्म से रूह में हम उतरते रहे। तेरी बाहों में हम जीते मरते रहे, दीवानगी
देखोगे दीवाना कर दोगे, इश्क में हमें यार तुम तो मस्ताना कर दोगे।
बात मेरी तुम मानो, दीवानापन छोड़ो, ना करो हमें बेकरार, कसमों को ना तोड़ो।
खुशबुओं की तरह हम बिखरते रहे, जिस्म से रूह में हम उतरते रहे, तेरी बाहों में हम जीते मरते